Well, number one, North Carolina men's basketball won't be number one anymore because they lost to unranked Iowa State. How in the world did this happen? First of all, the score was 70-65. You gotta say there's more than just outscoring opponents to win games here. I mean, it's the truth. So I'm going to dive into what happened, besides what happened in the first half in terms of points and the second half in terms of points. North Carolina outscored Iowa State 34-32 in the first half. Second half, 38-31 in favor of Iowa State. Besides saying Iowa State outscored them in the second half, what really happened during the game in terms of percentages and the rebounds and assists and all that little stuff? North Carolina shot 44% from the field, 22 for 50. 3 for 18 on threes, which is 16.7%. Yikes. 18 for 25 on free throws. Okay, that's okay. 36 rebounds, 12 assists, 7 steals, 2 blocks, 14 turnovers, 19 fouls. They only had 12 bench points. Iowa State had 13 bench points, and that came from 2 guys at that. And one of them had 10. Now, Iowa State shot the ball 43.9%, which in terms of field goals attempted and made, 25 for 57. 9 for 20 on threes. 11 for 15 on free throws. They were out rebounding in this game somehow. And they still won the game. They only had 29 rebounds. But they had 17 assists, which is about more than North Carolina. 8 steals, which is more than North Carolina. 2 blocks, which is the same as North Carolina. They only had 10 turnovers, which is less than North Carolina, which is a good thing. But they committed 23 fouls in this game. So, Iowa State basically had 2 of the starters in this game combined for 53 points. I'm not kidding you. Caleb Grill had 31 points. Well, Jaron Holmes had 22. And that's not including the bench guy with 10 points in the game too, which is Robert Jones. 10 points in the game. So they basically had 63 points from 3 guys. Yikes. You can't let 2 players beat you with that amount. Or 3 guys that beat you with all that amount. Come on now. So, who does North Carolina play next? Obviously, they would have to play the loser of the UConn-Alabama game. Obviously. I mean, and UConn is number 20. Alabama's number 18. So who else does North Carolina have to play besides that game? I have a hunch they're not going to be number 1 anymore. They're going to be at least no worse than number 3. I mean, no better than number 3, I would think. But you never know. So besides that game, they had number 11 Indiana at Indiana. Yikes. You got Virginia Tech that's 5-1 on the December 4th. Georgia Tech that's currently 3-2 on December 10th. The Citadel that's currently 4-3. So that's just explaining the games until. And then of course they got Ohio State. That's at Ohio State. That's 5-1. So that's just on the 17th. That's just explaining some of those games. Of course, Iowa State would have to play against either number 18 Alabama or UConn winner of that game for the championship in a Phil Knight Invitational. Obviously, they would. But after that game, on November 30th, they play North Dakota, who's currently 4-3. In theory, I would think they would win that game. They got St. John's, that's currently 6-0 on December 4th for the Big East, Big 12 battle. Of course, they have a game with the rival Iowa at Iowa, December 8th. They got McNeese State 2-4 on December 11th. Western Michigan, that's currently 2-4 on the 18th, and Omaha, that's currently 2-4. So, as you could tell, there are like two. I mean, besides the next game, there are like 1, 2, 3 more games that are really challenging for Iowa State going forward. I mean, up to that point. I don't want to go too far into the Big 12 here. So, anyways, I just want to break that down. And I reckon that Iowa State's going to get ranked in men's basketball. I reckon they will. They need to. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. That's going to be 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year or sometime in the future.